pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Burris,
Here.
Yoder,
Here.
Basil. Here. Mile. Absent. Johnson. Here. Seaman.
Here.
Lum. Here. Quorum is present.
Okay, we're going to take a look at the agenda. Is there any additions to the agenda?
Mr. Mayor, if I may, on existing business number 2, I'd like to change that to Camburn and Main Street.
Okay. Any others? Additions? If not, we need a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Support.
We have a motion and support to approve the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Public comments and questions. Ray?
Ray Holloway, 312 Ridge Street, beautiful city of Stanton. I've got a couple of comments. One is looking on the website, I see that it was back in April, last time any minutes or any videos were put online from these commission meetings. I know that there's been problems with the camera. I would imagine that the discretionary budget of the administrator here, in that amount of time since April, could probably spend enough money to get the camera fixed, replaced, or something. I think, and the other thing is, you guys are going to be talking about the trees tonight. I think that we have people in the public that are laughing at the city of Stanton for, you know, as I recall in the paper that the trees are a little bit taller but are still there, you know. This has gone on a long time. The trees were wrong for over 20 years. I think you guys should maybe remedy this situation.
Any other comments? We'll move on to the standing items. The minutes for August the 22nd. Those are the ones we had to correct, or?
Well, I'm still, and for some reason on my computer I couldn't access the website today, but to look at the minutes from the first meeting in August, but it now says that there was a motion made by Seaman and supported by Basil to amend the commission minutes of August 8th to strike the motion regarding DJ McQuestion and Sons and Casser phone system. And I don't remember that we put a strike through that motion. I thought we clarified what it said about the charge if they went beyond August 31st or whatever that was supposed to be. So I'm still wondering if that's the correct.
Yes, I looked through it, and that motion, actually, not the whole motion, but that particular was striked because it was worded differently. And so that was what we were trying, when, if you remember at the last meeting, that was the one that we had the question about, and we were trying to figure out, okay, what was it referring to? And that's what it was referring to, was that amendment. Because it was striking and putting in the new, what it was supposed to have said.
Okay, so are we striking the motion that was made about DJ McQuestion and Sons?
What we were striking is how it was worded, and we rechanged how it was worded. We corrected.
So maybe amend the motion, not, because it sounds like we just wiped it out
Okay.
as I read that. I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from August 22nd as amended.
Support.
We have a motion to approve the August 22nd, and we have support. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. And we got the minutes for the meeting of September the 12th.
Mayor,
Yes.
I would like for us to have a custom whereby if there is a split vote, that those in the minority's names would be listed so that we know who voted for what. For example, a motion was made by Mile and supported by Johnson to go with Garland Company for no more than $204 in cost. There were 5 yes and 1 no. I'd like the name inserted who voted no.
It was my understanding and stuff that I've read on the, when there's a no, we're supposed to put the person's name in.
That's what I'm requesting.
Yes.
Does the clerk have the name of the no vote?
Well, ever since I've been on the commission, I've, many minutes have said, who says no.
I believe it was you, correct, Carl?
Yes.
Okay.
And also, it should note the paragraph before that, that it was Commissioner Mile who abstained.
Any other corrections? If not, we need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve the minutes from September 12th as corrected.
Support.
It's been, motion's been made and supported. All those in favor of the September 12th, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Have any questions on the bills?
Mr. Mayor, if I may, I would like to point out to the commission that we have switched over to BSNA, so the format is a little bit different. If you look on the very last page of the bills, it shows you the totals that each department heads would be spending if the bills are approved.
What was the biohazard thing now? Okay, we're not done.
Mr. Mayor, can I have our DPW director address this issue?
Discuss the issue on the bills?
Yes, on the biohazard.
Okay.
Jamie, would you like to discuss that, please?
Sure. While Plumbers has been in town doing the televising and cleaning of our sewer lines, there was an instance where, of several things that could have occurred, sewer backups were caused in a couple different homes. So we immediately contacted a company out of Greenville to come and clean the bathrooms, sanitize, take care of anything that might have been damaged or destroyed. And there was also an instance where a resident had an open wound on their foot and walked into the bathroom after the toilet had overflowed. So she will be having some medical, probably bills to be tested or treated, just in case. We
can-
should be reimbursed.
Yep.
Well, that was agreed verbally that we'll be reimbursed for those charges.
We would be sending an invoice to them.
Mayor, I have just a question on the format, and maybe it's just because I just noticed it. I noticed all these invoices are indicated status paid. Have they already been paid and we're approving them after the fact?
No, that's just how, when it goes through the system, in order to create that, you have to go through the process that it's paid. The checks have not been sent, so technically it has not been paid, but it's just
Okay.
the software.
It's the same way it was before, just before you didn't see the pay. I'm still doing everything the same way.
Okay.
It's just this format has it on there and we can't get it off there. Before, we could remove that, they all said paid. But the checks are sitting in my office waiting for you to approve them before they get sent in the mail.
Okay. I'm just glad I'm not going crazy.
No, you aren't.
Any more discussion on the bills? Need a motion to approve the second half of September.
So moved.
Support.
All those in favor of paying the bills for the second half of September, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. DPW report, you got anything to add to your report?
I don't.
Mayor, if I may. Jamie, can you talk to them about the Spicer Group? Because I know that you were talking with them. I had put a paper in front of the commission about this, if you want, you can have this.
So we were approached by Miss Jennifer Garza from Spicy Group. She wants to put together a project that would have the city of Stanton receive wastewater from Dickerson Lake. Kind of like, they're doing the project kind of like Derby Lake did not that long ago, a couple years, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. And we like that. They're asking for information like, could we possibly take on the extra? If so, what would the charges be? Who would maintain the pump stations? It's just conversation right now. In my opinion, I will talk to Jason Washwood from Crandon Walk and get his thoughts as well. But everything I know about our system, for the flows they determined that we would receive, we can handle it, so it's a possibility.
You say we could handle it?
From what I know, everything I have information-wise, yeah, I believe it wouldn't be a problem. We don't pump near the capacity that we're allowed to pump now. We've never had trouble with being overfull, but it's something that needs more study. But say like Jason Washington, he'd be a go-to guy. I know quite a bit, but he knows all the variables. So it's something that would potentially be revenue for the city. If we could go ahead and make it work out, I think it'd be great.
If we had more volume, we'd just lower our rates?
We've got the volume. It would, as far as I can see, we would never exceed it. They're talking about an actual, well, what they figured is like 25,000 gallons a day. That's nothing. We could totally handle that without any issues. I mean, when we used to have infiltration from rainwater getting into our sewer, we'd pump an extra 100,000 a day. So that's not a big issue. So the rates and all the legalities would be somebody else's.
Certainly needs a lot more discussion.
Yeah, it's kind of exciting. I'm excited about it. I think it'd be great.
Any questions you want to ask the DPW director? Any of the commission?
I haven't read over the paper yet, so.
It's the same thing that she had sent you.
Oh, okay.
I just knew you didn't have a copy of it, you know.
How long are they gonna do it for? Because last I heard, they were gonna, at the fire meeting, they were gonna pump it over to the college.
They are looking
They're
at,
exploring every avenue.
yeah, I was gonna say, they're exploring every avenue.
Well, what I'm saying is, he didn't say anything about the college fronting the lift station or the whole line, where here does. So the city's gonna maintain it and own it.
No, they're wanting to know what stipulations is the city wanting. Are they wanting to maintain it and operate it, or do we want them to? That's what,
I'm
they're just
assuming at
wanting.
this point, you're saying we'll ask the city to take ownership of the collection system.
Yeah, that's an assumption, that's not that it's set in stone. She's just assuming. That's not them as an association that said, yes, that's what we're going to do. They're just exploring all options right now, is really what they're doing. And so I just wanted to make the commission aware of what was going on, and that we will be discussing it with prenatal health. And as the director said, it is potentially revenue for the city.
City manager's report, do you have anything to update us on? We've all had the,
Yeah, the only thing that I want to add is that the DDA met today at 5:30, and they're excited because the Christmas tree lighting ceremony is fastly approaching, and at the next meeting, they will be making a recommendation. They're looking at relocating the Christmas tree, and there's something that we were discussing about it. That's it.
what the discussion, Elizabeth and I have had quite a discussion on this thing. And DDA was talking about moving from Court Street to Cameron. And we was talking about on the corner, if we could, I went out and checked, we checked with the tree company out here on Nevins Road, and they would sell us a nice big tree for about $100. But we would have to put a pipe in the ground in the cement in order to put it up and decorate it. Because the tree up, for years they've decorated the tree up to the courthouse, but it's getting pretty shabby tree. And I think we'd have a better deal being down on Cameron, because it is the center of the town, number one. And number two, if it's a breezy day, you can get more out of the wind on Cameron than you can on Court by far. So it's in the discussion right now, and we're going to check a little deeper to find out what we would have to do and how we do it. But if we put a pipe in, we could buy a tree for about $100. A nice tree from the tree company. So it's just something to review at this moment, and then we'll have to make a decision in another meeting soon in order to get the setup that would hold the tree. Have any questions about that?
Is the X like a secondary spot?
Yes, that is the flower box that's there.
So we'll, between now and the next meeting, we'll be doing some review on it to see what we can accomplish, come up with some prices and so on and so forth. Under existing business, what's about this proposal?
This was what I had put before you guys before at the last meeting, and I've asked the engineer from Pretty New Hawk, Kevin Kostler, to be here to answer any questions that you guys may have for them. It is my recommendation that you guys make a motion to accept this proposal for a lump sum of $3,200.
I make a motion to accept the proposal from Pretty New Hawk for $3,200.
Second.
Any further discussion on this?
I think we'll find out a lot of information with having them do this project. Some of these reoccurring things, like the water issues and, streetscaping. I would love to have some professional information from it because it's clearly an issue. And I think this would be a good start in going in the right direction to remedy some of these situations.
Did we have a second for that?
Yes.
Any further discussion?
Whatever we decide, just like the deal with the trees we're having now, it was in it to not to be certain trees. I want it to be known, if they screw up, we're going after them, do you understand?
This is just to get a recommendation, and then after that, it states in here that then they would help line up like the contracting, and obviously we would hold those people accountable. If it's their responsibility and they messed up from what the plan called for.
What this proposal is to have,
We're gonna do blueprints, right?
They would have the plan proposal.
Okay. We approve the plans, and then we go take bids, right? Every bidder better know that, follow. They didn't last time.
that was not with Pretty New Hawk.
What?
I'm not exactly sure, but I can look that up and I can get that information to you at the next commission meeting. It was who did our streetscape.
Mayor?
Yes.
What line item is this coming out of?
One line item? Number one.
Budget
In the budget.
And the what?
In the budget.
Budget, I don't know. I don't have a copy of it.
This is one thing that we might have to make an amendment on, but I would still recommend that we do it because the two properties on Camburn and Main and Lincoln and Main have been having this water issue since the streetscape was done in 1991. And I think that they have been both very gracious and not throwing up as big a stink as they could have for the last 15 years. I think that it is absolutely critical that we take care of our downtown. And in turn, our business owners as well, the property owners.
Any other debate?
I would just like to make a comment. I become concerned when we just keep dipping here, dipping there, dipping the next place out of the general fund without having it budgeted ahead of time, without knowing where it's coming from. I agree with the city manager that we need to take care of the businesses downtown. What this does in point number one, delays any decision on the trees yet. And I was ready at last meeting to make a decision it was tabled. I don't want to vote against this because of the other provisions to study the grades and everything and the condition of the streetscape. But I'm dismayed that this delays the tree decision again. And so, I guess, based on what the city manager said, I'll vote for it, but I'm just dismayed, number one, that once again, we're dipping into the general fund. Number two, that we're delaying the decision on the trees.
Well, I know the, Warren has put up with the water running in his building for 23 years. And it's about time we got it fixed. More than got it fixed.
Mr. Mayor.
But I don't like the idea that we're talking about the trees again. And I for one am getting tired of talking about these trees. These trees were, we shouldn't have them in the flower beds. We've been told by an individual in this town that you can't have flowers growing in a flower bed with a tree in it. The roots are enormous in there, crowding them out. And so I don't know why we're asking the company to check out the trees. The trees on Main Street should come down and our DPW can take them out. There's no reason why we can't. So the cost of it studying the trees and this, I don't necessarily agree with.
Can Carl's answer the question he asked? Otherwise, I'll go to table this.
Okay, well,
Carl asked the question, where's the money coming from?
what are we gonna do?
Where's the money coming from? What line?
That's a good
It
question.
comes out of professional services, and that's why I said depending on how many, we
It
may
was never
have,
said.
well, we may have to amend, that's why I said you may have to amend the
But
budget.
we didn't know where it's coming.
Professional services.
So what do we gotta do what has to be done to engineer the drain? I'm more interested in the water that's running in his building than I am anything else.
Isn't that something on the agenda that he's gonna present to us, and right now, we're, maybe I'm out of line, I don't know.
Well, it's part of
We're
this
in the
thing.
discussion, it's been seconded, motion's been made and seconded to accept it in some discussion, which means that we can't ask original questions. It's the commission's discussion.
Huh? Can't ask questions?
Would this be less if we didn't have the trees into it?
Yes.
Because I can take any of you out there and show you the roots by digging in one of them flower beds. And so do you want the flowers or do you want these ugly trees?
Why can't we ask questions then?
What?
I was gonna say we can't ask questions of the engineer now,
We can't?
because that's the commission's.
I make a motion to table this till next meeting. We can't get our questions answered now.
We had time to answer those questions and nobody asked any questions and a motion was made and seconded or supported, whichever you
I make a motion to table it. Right, right.
I did not hear what you said.
I make a motion to table this.
You need to take a vote on whether to table it.
That way we can finish the trees up and then.
All those in favor of,
Was there support for that?
No.
Then
But he didn't ask.
the motion died. The motion to table died.
He never asked.
This is just for the engineering on these 2 water places.
That are these 5 items that are listed.
Mayor, may I inquire as to how much the bottom line would be if we took out point number 1?
That would have to go back to the engineers to get a new proposal together. I don't know that they would be prepared for that tonight to have those numbers ready.
This review of the trees is not just the trees on Cambry, Maine, correct?
It's on our downtown folder.
This is good information to
To
have.
have, it's the whole streetscape, it's not just that one, and we know that we have a problem in that one section. But what if we have a problem in a bunch of other sections, and we wouldn't know it if we didn't have some professional service let us know that there's a problem?
And they would also to provide a plan going forward with, okay, removing them, trimming them, whatever it ends up being, that there's a plan in place going forward.
Yeah, but we already know 2 parties that don't want the tree in front of their business.
I don't think that this says we can't remove trees. This is just saying they're gonna study all of the trees, all of the streetscape, and provide us with information to help us move forward.
Well, we have a motion to approve this, doing this, $3,200. We have a support, so I guess it's time to vote unless you got further discussion. Anybody got anything they want to say before we vote? Want a roll call
Yoder,
Aye.
Basil,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Plum,
Yes.
Seaman,
To accept.
No.
4 to 1.
vote? Motion carried.